Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Mary Payton with All About STEM Radio. And as you know, I come to you every Wednesday from 6 to 7 here on the Blue Stream. And I am so excited and happy to be here. I know I've got to give my props, but don't forget that this weekend, September 7th, is our third annual Books, Burgers, and More, hosted by Metro Authors Group. And it's going to be at the Eunice Community Center at 1000 Eunice Street here in Arlington. Please come out. We're going to be there from 11 to 4. We've got all types of authors, with all types of books. Please come out. The chef that does the burgers, they are wonderful. So you got to come out. This is our third year with him. And also, I have to give my props to Fishbowl Radio Network. It is celebrating its 10th year this year. I've only been on it for 3 years, but I am so proud of being here and what Sammy does for all of us and the producers and everything. My producers, Gary and whomever else I can get in here to deal with me. But thank y'all. 10 years. The girl is doing it awesomely. But today I have a young guest. All my guests are young. I don't care if they're 90. But I have a wonderful young guest who came to my very first book event at Half Price Bookstore. He said he was sent to see me, and then I think I went 9 months and couldn't find him.
I was around.
Ooh, my hair is all wild looking. But anyway, I went 9 months and couldn't find him, but he finally called me about 3 or 4 months ago, and we got back together. But Larry is a awesome young man, and I have to tell y'all, we always talk about scholar athletes. Athletes are not just athletes anymore. These are really educated, really smart young men and women. So they can play football, baseball, basketball, soccer, lacrosse, whatever. And then when they retire, they can run a business. And a lot of them still run a business while they're playing their sport. But awesome young man, awesome family. Miss Ruby, his mother, that's what I'm going to make my new sister, because, her kids are grown. Me and her have got to go do some traveling, get away from these kids.
Yeah, she'll be happy about that.
Okay. Don't tell me that. You be like, where my mama? I'm like, we're in San Antonio.
I'm going to tell her to go live it up. She deserved it. Y'all have earned it. So.
Well, his name is Mr. Larry Curry. Why is somebody calling me from Chicago right now? Well, they're going to have... I'm sorry, people from... Oops, let me hang this up. People from Chicago. Anyway, his name is Mr. Larry Curry. He is the founder of Metro Sports Fieldhouse, and he is also a very intelligent and smart young man. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell us a little bit about you before we get into Metro Sports Fieldhouse.
Cool. So thank you for having me. Super blessing, honored to be here. And as you mentioned, I everything happens for a reason. And I told you that I dropped the ball on. Glad we finally connected. But as she said, my name is Larry Curry, founder of Metro Sports Fieldhouse. Full-time dad, full-time employee of Bell Helicopter. Grew up here, born and raised, Texas boy through and through. Grew up in Dallas, South Oak Cliff area, and made my way to Arlington after I came back from 1 year at Stephen F. Austin and finished up at UTA. And Arlington became home to me, and is where I laid my roots and started my family.
Okay, all right. Now, anyone who's listening, if you would like to call in, the number here is 214-431-5062. That's 214-431-5062. Now, Larry, you say you went to Stephen F. Austin and then you came to UTA. What did you major in college?
So I'm a business finance major.
Yeah,
so
see, I told y'all he was smart.
Crunching numbers, it's funny because I can my wife always laughs at me when we go out and we're tipping or we're spending money or doing anything involving money. I always do that quick math in my head, and unfortunately, I am not the most financially savvy person in our family. That's still my wife. She's the one that says, "Hey, don't buy those shoes. Don't buy those, buy those Jordans or buy those whatever." She's invested here, invested there, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm the finance guy, but you're right." So that's kind of the things we want to instill in young people as well. So.
Oh yeah. I've been looking over your page and following you, and Demi tells me everything that you do.
I love Demi. I hope she's listening. I love Demi. She's super happy that we finally are doing this. So.
Yeah, we went to lunch last Monday finally, and that's all she talked about was you. Talking about y'all finally got together. He's gonna be on the show. I'm like, okay, Demi. Yes, Demi.
Demi is she's truly one of those people that just brings people together. She's a kindred. We're a kindred spirit. So.
Yeah. Now, when you were at UTA or Stephen F. Austin, did you play sports?
I had a brief stint, and I quickly realized that it was not going to be the path forward for me, just from a perspective of, I didn't want to be one of those individuals where that type of thing defined me as a person, and also knew that my mom's a single mom. I had a younger sister. I wasn't going to go pursue sports outside of playing in high school and in college for a little bit, so I just kind of made a tough decision. I had to look myself in the mirror and understand that I'm more than just, as you mentioned, more than just an athlete, and I could do just as much off the court as I could on the court.
What sport were you?
Basketball.
I'm
6'5". Come on now.
I'm not going to say
how. Can you imagine me out on a football field? I'd get. Well, there are some 6'5" receivers, but I'm dangling. I'd probably get broken in half out there. So.
Yeah, you kind of small. I need to feed you some cornbread.
I went to one football practice when I was 7 years old, and they had us doing up downs, rolling around in the grass.
At your height?
At 7, yeah. So I was still tall, one of the taller kids at 6 and 7. But I immediately went home to my mom, and I was like, "Football ain't for me. It's hot outside. I'm itching from the grass." I was like, "This is not for me. I want to be somewhere where it's controlled, temperature controlled." So that's, I grew up playing basketball. My mom's a basketball player.
Yeah.
Everybody in my family pretty much played a sport. And my wife, she plays. She has a sports background as well. So.
Yeah. Did she play basketball?
She did. She's actually from Ventura, California.
Okay.
So she went to TCU. She went 2 years junior college in California, played basketball there. She swam, as most every person does in California. And she stopped playing after those 2 years, came and finished at TCU. That's kind of how we met.
Yeah. Well, I played sports, but, I coached basketball for, 16 years. But when you are 5'4", I had girls go all Army and everything, but they were like, "How did you do that? You are like this tall." Well, you don't have to be tall to coach.
No.
I didn't say I played.
You probably they probably looking up to him. You probably grab him by the shirt and get it,
No, I always wore real high heels when we were at the games.
So you could get that perception of, "Hey, don't you think I'm as tall as you or halfway taller than you?" That's funny.
But a lot of people don't understand that sports. It's kind of like people talk about music and art and STEM and being smart in education. All of those things go together.
Hand in hand. Yeah, hand in hand. That's our, growing up, my mom always made it a point to take out of the game what you should be taking out of it. It's less about winning and losing and more about building those life skills that sports teaches you. Heck, to this day, if I got hired on at Bell when I interviewed, and I used sports analogies and things like that as a reference to how I'm a good team player, how I can communicate well, how I know how to handle losing and bounce back from losing, and I'm also a good winner, a gracious winner, and those are all the things when you use sport as the tool the right way. It's more than just about winning and losing, and that's really what we try to get people to understand is we're not just a sports program or organization. We try to pull those things out of the kids too as well.
Okay, all right. Well, I have Gary listening, and Stephonia and Shepherd Joe. Stephonia and Shepherd Joe are my cousins because you can tell those names come straight out of Fairfield. Hey, cuz, love y'all. Don't get on me when I get home. But
hey, everybody.
But you know, you got your bachelor's in business. Did you get your master's yet?
Yes, I have an MBA from UNT.
Oh, see, you just gonna make my heart cry right here.
Keynote for all the young people listening: get those companies to pay for that MBA. That's exactly what I did. There's something to be said about getting that bachelor's, finishing undergrad, and then going right into it. I took some time off, got a job, and then my job paid for that. So save on some of that debt.
Oh yeah, because hey, my kids graduated with no college debt.
Right.
None.
Awesome. That's unbelievable.
Military paid for it. Right. It's a blessing.
That is a blessing.
But I know what you're talking about. Now, what do you do out at Bell?
So I've been at Bell 7.5 years, and
wait a minute, you're not that old.
I'm old.
You graduated college last year.
No, I didn't. I know I had the baby face, but so I started there, and immediately for the first 6.5 years, I was in finance, different roles within finance. So new programs. So anytime Bell would develop a new aircraft, they'd stand up a team of engineers, finance folks, been on military programs, been a government liaison because Bell is a government subcontractor. We have to do business a certain way because we're spending taxpayer dollars. So I kind of liaison between the customer and Bell. And recently, I've kind of expand my horizon a little bit and get an extra notch on my belt. Join our manufacturing operations team to support and learn that side of the business and bring more financial kind of awareness to our manufacturing and operations side. So that just happened probably about 3 or 4 months ago. So several different roles. Bell has been great to me. It's helped me develop my business acumen. Once again, talking about taking from something what you should be taking from it. When you have these careers, even if it's a job that you may not be as happy with, or there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I've always taken the approach of taking from that what I should be taking from that to get my next opportunity. So there's always lessons and things you can learn from any job. So whether you hate it or you love it, So.
Yeah, and you're so right. You are so right. But hey, you sounds like you're stepping in the right path, and you're doing those things you need to do. And on the other hand, you're also helping bring some of the young people along. But hey, my guest today is here on All About STEM Radio is Mr. Larry Curry. He is the founder of Metro Sports Fieldhouse, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But if you have any questions or want to say hi or want to say anything to him, you can please call in at 214-431-5062. I have to slow down because I have said my phone number accidentally.
I have all kind of people calling.
Stephonia said, great young man. So thank you, Stephonia.
Thank you, cousin.
Thank you, cousin. But so tell me about Metro Fieldhouse. What got it started?
So, as I mentioned, I've been in mentoring, some form of mentoring and capacity for, as long as I could, remember. I had, the train of thought to do that. And, where I come from, you don't have a lot of, it's either sports or music, right? That's what you're told is, sports and music is your way out of whatever situation you're in, or a way to make a lot of money, or, we're not often exposing these kids and telling these kids about careers in certain industries, STEM being one of those industries. And so about 4 or 5 years ago, I don't want to say I've done this all on my own, because I've had a lot of mentorship, a lot of guidance, a lot of individuals giving me a lot of feedback, volunteers. I could thank 1,000 people. But I had the idea, God put something on my heart to kind of say, why don't you start a nonprofit organization that provides, kids with enrichment opportunities of the brain and body through sports. And so what I mean by that is the physical activity and everything that brings, but also exposing them and developing them holistically by exposing them to other opportunities and other careers that they may not have known existed because of lack of resources or just lack of exposure. And so I was once one of those kids where my mom was always looking for free programs, free anything to get me in for free that's going to help me develop mentally and physically. And so we started doing that. First year we probably had, Mary, 3 kids. We started off doing, maybe I think I started off too fast because I was just so excited about it.
Yep.
And like I'm gonna change lives, and I would get so frustrated because I'm like, this is a free program. We're doing, such good things that are unique, because that's what makes us unique, is that we're truly a one-stop shop for physical activity and educational enrichment.
Yep.
But we only get like 3 kids in the whole gym, and people would always say, bro, if you're impacting one life,
Yep.
you win. That's a win for you, And so, but I was like, man, I need 100 people in this gym every event that we do, and not being realistic, right, and understand that it takes time.
Yeah.
And so 4 years later, we've stayed, we persevered, we stayed true to our goals, our mission, and our purpose, and it's just been growing leaps and bounds, and we've gone from 1 to 3 to 5 kids every event and doing 12 events to doing 25 plus events, working with AISD in some capacities, working with Arlington Police Department in some capacities, and averaging between 40, 50 kids per event. And we just want to continue to grow that, and continue to do more community events like the Wilderness Fair that you came out.
That was
Thank you so much for coming
fun.
out to that. Yeah, so
I mean, I met some of the best people there.
Yeah. So we have room to grow and continue blessings from people like you, Mary. I mean, and we're not an organization that is trying to. We know that it takes a village. So we look at people like you that are providing good examples for minorities, women, African Americans, Hispanics, whatever, and just people all alike. So that's what we want to keep doing, and we want to keep growing.
So tell me, who do you support? What kind of kids? What areas here in Arlington or outside of Arlington?
So 60% of our participants come from the Arlington area. Ideally, we want to expose kids that are in at-risk areas and underserved to what we have to offer, because they're usually the ones that don't have access to these type of resources and the type of information that we're giving them and opportunities. Yeah. But we don't turn kids away for any reason, because we believe there's lessons to be learned across the board. Oftentimes, one of the most overlooked groups are middle class, right? Because most programs are for at-risk, underserved, or for affluent. And so your middle class, who can fall on either side of the track at any given time, kind of get overlooked. So we focus in on everybody, 100% inclusive. But we some of our parents are below poverty line in Arlington, and some of them are middle class citizens that just everyday grind, trying to make a living. And they really appreciate when we do free shoe giveaways, or when we let the kids fly drones and do engineering drone competitions and let them build things, and let them, one of our initiatives this year is exposing kids more to arts and culture, because we believe that stimulates the brain more and helps develop and just gets the kids thinking more. And so parents appreciate that type of stuff. So we love people and young people. So we just all 100% inclusive.
Now, okay, Sandra is on. She said, "Hey,
Miss Sandra."
But I know this summer you had summer camps. What did you do in the camps? How, where were you? How many kids?
So
how long was it?
So we called it our sports career and literacy program.
Oh, okay.
We started in April. We go through November. We do 2 camps a month right now, just because we're 100% volunteer based. And also thanks to people like volunteering, like Miss Sandra listening. We always have a good turnout of volunteers, and the volunteer to kid ratio is pretty good. But we do 2 camps a month on Saturdays. April to November, we start out with a sport. Okay. Soccer, yoga, basketball. But each one of those camps will have a physical activity component for that sport, but then also for about an hour and a half, a kid will be exposed to some type of educational enrichment opportunity, and we feed the kids. Oftentimes we end up feeding the parents too as well, if we have extra food from in-kind donations and that. So our goal is to develop these kids well-rounded from a holistic standpoint. So we want to provide programming that's well-rounded, right? So physical activity, moving, running, jumping, not sitting on the couch eating potato chips, playing Fortnite or Madden. I like Fortnite too. I actually like Madden better, but not spending all their time doing that, because there are brain and educational components that physical activity helps with. If you're not, studies show that if you're physically active, you get higher test scores. You're more likely to have higher paying salaries. Things like that. So But then, half of that is having a guest speaker come in and provide some kind of educational enrichment component to every camp. Like, that's our motto. You're not going to come to one of our camps and just play basketball or just play soccer. Sometimes the kids, it's not the most popular thing, but
yes,
that's what we feel like is going to help them down the line. They don't really understand the benefit of it until later. Until
it's like, oh, wait a minute, I learned this back in camp, or I learned this in school, and I can incorporate it somewhere else.
Because that builds excitement. If they do something in one of our camps and then a teacher talks about it, and then they're just like, oh man, I remember doing that thing. I remember playing with robots or building a circuit board, or building this landing pad with and flying the drones and doing a competition to land the drones on the land. That's all critical thinking and all stuff that can translate to successful young people.
Now, who do you get to come and do your technology pieces, your drone pieces, your finance pieces? Well, let's talk about we're not going to talk about the finance yet, because I'm going to talk about that separately. But who do you get to come in to do that? Can you talk about some of the people and give us some information on them?
Yes, ma'am. So I work, because I am a Bell employee, I have kind of an inside track for Bell. We have an education committee.
Really?
Yes, and they have robotic teams. They do Lego League robotic competitions. So we've had that out where the kids have got to see how the kids build moving robots out of Legos and compete. Yeah. And then we've also worked with another one of my engineering friends at Bell, has a nonprofit organization. It's called Blur It Out. And illuminate. Blur It Out, it's kind of twofold. Blur It Out illuminate STEM. He'd be a good person actually to have on.
I'm writing it down.
His name's Terrence Sutherland, and I can link you up with him. But
okay,
he's brought out. His thing is about getting minorities specifically interested in engineering and STEM and mathematics and all that stuff, because there's not a lot of minority women, African Americans, Hispanics in that space. And that's the way, robotics is the wave of the future.
It is.
Manufacturing lines are going to be almost 100. You have to have people operating them, but almost 100% robotics and autonomous. And so cars, flying all this stuff is coming, and he's, we need to have people in the room developing the coding.
Yes.
Interested in that type of stuff. Our parents, when we told them drone pilots make six figures. They can't believe that drone pilots get paid six figures for flying toys, right?
But they're not toys.
They're not toys, right?
I'm just saying,
expenses are outdoors, and photographers, people who can control a drone enough to take aerial shots, they get paid a lot of money, and that's
you got some of those at home,
right? So that's the type of stuff. We Bell Education Committee. We work with other nonprofits, organizations from a STEM perspective. There's a local computer engineering guy. His name's Chris McMurrow. Okay. I can't remember the exact name of his company, but he's come out and brought robotic arms, brought glasses with the kids. They shoot basketballs, and it shows the expansion of the pupils when they're doing something that requires attention, how your pupils automatically expand.
So that's biology.
I'm telling you, we try to get them touching everything. Yeah. Everything, anything you can imagine. And that's why I was saying ideas, partnerships, it takes a village, and we're open to it's about getting these kids exposed to every opportunity they have to be successful.
And making the connections.
Now,
before I go any further, how do people get a hold of you? What's your website, Facebook, social media? Don't give us your phone number. We don't want that.
I won't.
I in the beginning, when I first started the show, I had people giving out their phone numbers.
My phone number's on the website, though. I want people calling me. I want this to have some momentum. I want this going down,
Okay. Tell my folks how to get a hold of you. We're going to say this a couple of times during the show.
All right. So our website is www.metrosportsfieldhouse.com. Instagram is metrosportsfieldhouse.com, at metrosportsfieldhouse.com. Facebook is at metrosportsfieldhouse.com. And Twitter, which we hardly ever use, we need to get better about it, is at metrosportsfh. So you guys have no reason not to come check us out and just see what we're about. And if there's any questions, my information, email is all on the website.
And if you'd like to call in to say anything to Larry, the number here is 214-431-5062. That's 214-431-5062. 431-5062.
Can I give a shout out real quick?
Go ahead on.
Miss Sandra, if Miss Sandra is listening, I have to, we were just talking about the wellness fair earlier. She has a ministry. It's called Brittany's Backpack Ministry. There's an awesome story behind it. I don't want to steal her thunder and tell the story behind Brittany's Backpack Ministry, but just talking about earlier, I wouldn't be able to do this 4 years straight without people like Sandra and Demi and you, and just supporting and just encouraging and just keep going. Don't stop. Don't let no's slow you down. And bringing backpacks to our kids at wellness fairs, or bringing socks. And
she had all them socks.
She is a saint as well. And I'm telling, bringing this up too is because these people are important to me. My volunteers, we have partnerships with my friends, and just some other partnerships with some retailers. They send volunteers out, and I just got to show love. Yeah, I've been blessed. I got to show love, because I would not be 4 years doing this without these people.
Yeah, it's like me here with the show. There's no way I could do this by myself, because Gary already knows. There's been times I'm like, I'm not doing this no more. Right. He's like, okay, go home. See you next week.
Right.
And I'm here.
Yes, ma'am.
But I got to get Sandra on here too, because she's got to tell us about her story. Because I was next to her at your health and wellness event, and we had far too much fun. But it was.
Did I feed y'all good?
Oh my goodness.
Okay, good.
I'm not even going to ask you where you got the food
what I tell my
from.
volunteers. I'm like, I can't pay you, but I can feed you.
And you fed us well. Yes, you fed us well. Now, you spoke a little bit about your programs and getting together on the weekends for your literacy things and stuff like that. Where do you meet?
Oh, so we meet at UTA. That's our current,
really?
Yeah, everything, and that's another one of our initiatives. Is these kids don't even understand that in your backyard is a college. I know they probably know UTA's there, but kind of metaphorically, like, it's within your reach. Like,
frankly, there are 4 colleges:
TCC, UTA,
Arlington Baptist, and Bowder or Border.
Okay, I know. Yeah. So it's just about, like, mentally, brain is a powerful thing, right? So just being on a college campus.
Yes.
I'm having a basketball / literacy camp on a college campus, and I'm 10. So it just, it's almost like when you remember that rap song, the kids, they can remember songs like All Outdoors at 6, 7, 8. So then, you just start remembering, oh, I've been at this college campus, or I remember what we did in the curriculum for this event. And it just kind of starts becoming second nature and just part of your everyday routine, that it's normal for me to be on a college campus. Yeah. This is not abnormal for me. I'm supposed to be here.
Yes.
And we understand that college is not for everybody, but we just, the point is having a goal, having goals to be successful, whether that's being a trade. You just, you have a structure and a foundation to understand how to get there. And that's kind of that's what makes me happy, is when I see a kid and a parent is, it's like I said, 60% of our kids are here in Arlington, but we get kids from Cedar Hill, from my area, southern Oak Cliff, Dallas area, coming to these events, because there's in my mind, I'm biased to it, but there's not a lot of free programs out there that are unique in the sense of what we're doing, combining the physical activity with the educational enrichment. So that's what we're proud of.
That's awesome. Now, are y'all at the fitness center, the Maverick Center?
So we do, it just really depends on the schedule that, for booking. But we either use the Mavericks Activity Center or the PEB Physical Education Building, which is right next door.
Yeah,
so they don't
right
have
next door.
Right.
I've got degrees from UTA, so I know. And one of them is in kinesiology and biology.
It's not easy. People think that's easy.
Oh, no.
You got to know science and, the body. And
that's why I was biology and kinesiology, and people thought that was the weirdest makeup. And then I ended up spending most of my life in physics and chemistry. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But,
that's what we're doing them now. If you know, most people ask why Metro Sports Fieldhouse and not just Metro Sports, but that's our future state is have our own space where we can do more than just 2 Saturdays a month. Yeah. We can pour into it more and do more during the week. do more, after school, doing more during the summer, and we can pour more into these kids, into these youth in the community. And that's a project. To everybody listening, that's a project that I need prayer. If you pray, we're working through some stuff, trying to get a donation of a plot of land to get our own space. That's going to be our next step. So prayer is needed. If connections, resources, grants, donations, or all of the above is going to be needed to execute that. Because if we get that land, then they're going to potentially going to be put on the clock to raise the funding to get the space. So.
And you know what? I know you're going to do it.
Thank you,
Mary.
I
know you're going to do it. Now, I was looking online at your website. So now I've got a list of the dates. So I've got to get with you and see what I can do to help out. I'd love to do something with your parents.
My mom would be all about that.
Yeah, because parents are so used to we're gonna take our kids.
Oh, you talking about our kids' parents? I thought you was talking about going to San Antonio with my mom again.
Me and your mom, we gonna do some traveling because our kids are grown.
So you, Miss Sandra, and my mom, because Miss Sandra and my mom supposed to be linking up to do some stuff.
Okay.
Y'all can have a girls' weekend.
See, you don't need to know that.
I don't even know what's going to happen. Okay.
You don't need to know
Stay
that.
in my place. Huh?
Stay in your lane. But that, and I'd like to get with you and talk about doing something with your parents, because a lot of our parents out here, they're wonderful parents. They're great. They do what they do, but they don't really look at what's available to their kids in not only sports but also STEM or career and stuff like that, and let them have a little fun while their kids are doing stuff with y'all. Do you do anything with the parents yet?
So next year we plan on starting to incorporate some physical activity pieces for the parents while the kids are doing the physical activity. But we didn't have anything. We have not thought about lining anything up from a curriculum, an educational curriculum standpoint. So all you gotta do is tell me, and we can.
I'll get with you and your wife on that, because your wife is your educational person. Tell us a little bit about your wife. She's so sweet.
She is my support. Awesome support system. I mean, like I said, I've shouted out all my volunteers and the people in my life, but my wife, my mom, we're a family.
Yep.
Nonprofit organization, truly. I mean, and once you come to a Metro sports event, you are family. So it's like you have no choice. But my wife, I mean, she was one of those, probably the most vocal person about, dude, one person came, so what? That's awesome. Like, I mean, she would literally say, that's awesome. One person came, you changed one, like. And she's the one that kind of talks me off the ledge. She's the one that, always says stuff like, babe, should you really be, because I'm an overdoer, as I told you. I'm a finance guy, but I just I spend. Even with the Wellness First, she's like, well, babe, they didn't, I know you want to give everybody shoes, but you bought 300 pairs of shoes and they didn't sign up, so you have to make, stuff like that. I'm like, I'm going to go buy them. And she's just my all-around just backbone, really, for everything that I do. It's not even her passion, but because it's my passion, it's turned into her passion. So
now her background is in what?
She was a teacher for 8 years at Mansfield High School.
Really?
And she just recently, 2 years ago, stopped to stay at home with our. Once she had that second one, and she was like, okay, I'm staying at home. So we have I didn't mention this at the beginning, but I have a 5-year-old. He'll be 5 Monday. His name's Levi. I have a 3-year-old. She just turned 3 in July. That's Lila.
And her birthday was on the
Wellness Fair, July 20th.
Because I gave her a book.
Yeah, she still, we read that book all the time.
Oh.
She's a reader, so which is another thing. Parents, if you have small kids, just turn pages with them when they're little. That's a skill, right? That's kind of gets them interested in books.
And if you don't have children's books, don't forget, Books, Burgers, and More is this weekend at the Eunice Activity Center at 1000 Eunice Street here in Arlington. And we have a lot of children's book authors. I'm one. I have both my books here. Y'all see them? Okay. I'm Facebook Live. Y'all see them? Okay. Taylor STEM Adventures Texas and Taylor STEM Adventures Hawaii. If you're here in Texas, everything in the Texas book, pretty much, is only one thing you can't do. But everything in the Texas book is things that I did with me and my children did. So, going to NASA, going to Waco, to the Mammoth Museum, all of that. So, hey, if you need some children's books featuring African American children, written by African American authors, or children's books, period, because we got all kind of authors there too, please stop by. Stop by.
Right.
Okay, I just jumped
That's
into
okay.
your
No, that's okay. And Logan, I was just saying Logan. She's the, by the time you get to the third one, anyway, it's.
Oh, it is not, because I'm the third child. I'm the baby.
If you ask your parents, by the time you get to the third one, everything's not hiding. You're like, oh, you fail, okay, get up. So yeah, she often gets. No, she doesn't. That's our baby. So yeah, you'll oftentimes see everybody all the time, unless my kids are playing. They play sports now, so my two oldest. So sometimes mom is taking them to events. And
what does Levi play?
Basketball. He's big.
But see, I didn't see Levi. I only saw.
Oh, you didn't meet Levi as well? Okay. He basketball and soccer, and Lila plays soccer. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, like I said, I don't. It's okay, cool. He might be good at basketball, but it's more about
just being out there.
Just being out there. Don't let your teammates down, because that's you lose. Let's move on. That's how life. You can't win everything, but you can't quit.
Yep.
And if you commit to you wanted to play, then no matter what the circumstance is, you play because you committed to a team. And so that's kind of the things that, of course I harp on. I'll preach those things a little differently than mom, but because you guys are the good ones, and the dads are oftentimes the.
And sometimes it's the other way around.
Okay.
It
just depends on the situation.
Yeah, we get on pick up your clothes. Did you take a bath? Did you brush your teeth? You can't have candy for dinner. You got to have real food. Those odd things. But anyway, you spoke about your team a little bit, and then we got off. You spoke about Miss Ruby. You spoke about your wife. I forget what her name is. Don't get on me.
Robin.
Miss Robin. And you have a wonderful group of people that are on your board, on your team, on your staff. Who are those people?
So my core, I have, like I said earlier, 100 different people I can name as volunteers, but my board member, my core volunteers are a guy named Anthony Bird. He's a guy I went to school with.
Okay.
He's kind of like, I task him with being kind of like over all the operations of the camps from a physical activity perspective. You mentioned Robin as kind of like our educational curriculum person. So she basically handles and gives me feedback and ideas for the educational components. Michael Daniels is a guy that I've known almost since birth. Back in Oak Cliff, we went to elementary school together, middle school, and then we split up in high school. But he's also one of our strategic planning operations guys. One of my guys, B, he works on our websites remotely. He does, and all these people are doing this stuff voluntarily. So they believe in what we're doing. We have partnerships with the Nike store in Grand Prairie. They sent out a ton of volunteers, and they helped with making that shoe giveaway super awesome and possible, because I wouldn't have been able to get 300 pairs of shoes without their help. Just all kind of people, board members. I get a little feedback from. It depends on who the people are. My board consists of people that I've known my whole life, because I know they're going to be fully vested.
And be there for you.
And be there financially, physically, present. And, I have some advisory committee individuals that are more kind of like in the community that, can be advocates for our organization. One of those being Demi. And so that's kind of our structure, as we grow and as we start, the model might change a little bit, but that's kind of where we are.
And that's awesome, because you were talking about you had 3 people show up your first meeting, and I had a guest back in January, and I talked to him over the weekend. He was so funny. His first relatively whole year, he only had 1, and now he's having an award ceremony in a few weeks, because his kids all get patents.
Right.
He makes sure his kids work. And
That's
they get patents, because I asked him, I said, why do you care about them getting patents? And he's worked for NASA. I think he still does work for NASA. But he said, because most kids that go to college, less than 1% of them that go to Harvard, Yale, Princeton, all those Ivy League schools already have a patent. You say, so that's one of the things I pushed. He came in and we had 14 kids that day.
Wow. That's a resume builder too, that's huge. And that's, some residuals too.
So next time you come, I want you, you got to bring some kids in here. So I want to ask them what you do.
Okay, I can definitely do that. I got a bunch of kids that would be willing to do that.
Or get them to call in or come in, whatever. So, I mean, do you have any kids that have been with you over a couple of years?
Oh, yeah. So, specifically, I mean, there's a couple of them. There's a kid named Jalen. His mom's Jackie. So, Robin, my wife, went out. She usually helps with signing in the kids, getting them shirts. And Robin went out. She was on vacation or home in California. All her family's there, so she goes there every summer for a while. And I had an event coming up that weekend, and so I didn't have her to help in signing in and picking up food. And Jalen's been coming to our camps for 2-3 years, and Mom Jackie was like, whatever you need to do. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but at the wellness fair, Logan, my 5-month-old daughter, is getting passed around.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because, I mean, everybody literally, like I said, it takes a village, and everybody puts in hand. We have family. Her name's Misty Grant. They come from Cedar Hill. Her daughter, she has 2 sons and a daughter, but her daughter is really close to me. Her name's Alyssa, and she is the most kind, sweet, passionate person. And Misty has told me a bunch of times that we drive from Cedar Hill for every one of your events. They've been coming for 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
Too, because we don't have anything of this quality in Cedar Hill for free. That's another key thing I forgot. Everything we do is free, right? All our programs.
But you do take donations, right?
Yes, because there are expenses. The
There's
expenses
a donation button on your website, right?
There's a donate button on my website.
Okay.
It's via PayPal. So y'all, if you know how PayPal works, they take a percentage out. So if you want to actually donate without getting that expense, you can just email me, call me, and we can set something up.
Okay.
But so they come out. I mean, we have new people too. That's also what we use as a barometer for success. The returners we love because those are family. We want them to keep coming and keep benefiting. But the more new people we get, that means they're hearing about the quality of our programs. Word of mouth is the most powerful tool.
Yes,
social media is awesome. Don't get me wrong, because it can reach greater audiences. But word of mouth, if somebody says, "Man, I went to this program and it was awesome," then that tends to be the most powerful tool. And so those type of newcomers are just as appreciated as the ones that come.
And so, I mean, it's the thing that people who have stayed with you for a while, and they've probably brought people with them, and when they're there, they're willing to help.
All right. I mean, there's so another person. There's my guy Will. He brings his son Will Jr. and Ryan, and they've grown. They're not as young. They're 7th, 8th graders now, and they still come out, and we do. Another thing is because they, we mentor them, and we love them so much. We go do. And we do individual workouts with them. So we'll take our Saturdays and go up, and Anthony Bird, one of my other volunteers, we'll go work with them on the weekends. They invite people. I mean, it's just,
it's your village.
It's just my village. I mean, I can't explain it. Those kids, they become like kids. It's like, what do you smack them on the back of the head? Stop doing that. Sit down. You listen to your mom. You need to be, because that's what it takes, right?
Now, you don't only cater to boys, you cater to boys and girls, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's one of the things we didn't touch on, because, you're sitting here being a male child, and I'm like, wait, I got to make sure I let the young ladies know that this is also for them.
I have 2 daughters, so yes,
I know you do.
I'm going to take care of my ladies,
I know you do.
Yeah, and our girls are some of our most competitive.
Oh, yeah.
Even with not just the sports, but even if we're doing some kind of competition with, from the educational standpoint, our girls are some of the most competitive. And we've had girls that have come, and which is one of the things I'm really proud of, and it speaks to our family environment. They come and they're kind of timid, and then they just, by the second event that they come to, they're just out of their shell, and the parents are telling us they talked about coming to the event, for the last 2 weeks. And I'm like, well, that's awesome, and we love having them, So, yeah, males and females.
And your age groups?
So we serve our target demographic. Our age is kindergarten through 6th.
Okay.
Because we want to get them young, but we get kids 7th and 8th as well.
Okay.
And because they live in Arlington, they could come do everything that. There's some certain requirements with doing some stuff at UTA. You can't have kids of a certain age doing sporting events.
Yeah.
But because most of the 7th and 8th graders that we have that come live in Arlington, there's no issues there. So K through 8th really is.
Okay. That's outstanding.
Yep.
Now, we've got probably about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So, are there any needs that you have, like, somebody to do coding or somebody to come and help coach? Are there any needs out there or any shout outs that you want to give for just a second?
So needs really quick. We haven't started planning our 2020 schedule yet. So if there's anyone listening, or if anyone listening knows anyone that is in one of those educational component fields, specifically STEM, but also financial literacy, arts and culture, anything. We're always looking to bring guest speakers in that are of variety in different companies and different organizations to provide our kids with that holistic view. We're always looking for that. We're always accepting volunteers. If we have 50 kids, we would like to have 60 volunteers to whatever, you know what I mean? Or, so the more volunteers, the merrier. We're always accepting that. And you can always email me or call me. All that information is on my website. And my personal email is larrycurry@metrosportsfieldhouse.com. Easy to remember. And from a financial standpoint, needs, if our future current state, we always need in-kind donations of food because we feed the kids. Items to give to some of these kids that were parents that would go a long way, socks, shoes, whatever, for next year's wellness fair event, and funding for future state. If we do get this off the ground, I would just encourage everyone listening, if you know people, to check out our website, and we'll be updating people about the land acquisition and what happens, and then we'll be definitely
I'm excited about
hard.
that.
Yeah, we'll be definitely hitting fundraising hard. And if any of y'all know any professional athletes, we've never had a professional athlete because it's not just our sole focus sports, but we would like to, kids love seeing professional athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Professional athletes have foundations. So if you guys know any professional athletes, and then lastly, shout outs to,
Wait, before you get that, we have people that listen to this station all around. Talk to the professional athletes yourself.
Professional
real quick.
athletes. Oh, hey, yeah. So I know how busy y'all schedules are, and how a lot of professional athletes get pulled in multiple directions, right? And it's important for those individuals to kind of align themselves and their foundations with an organization that aligns with their foundation's vision. But I'm more than happy to sit down with anyone that wants to hear more about our organization and where we're trying to go and the impact that we're trying to make, and put it out there to them to get them comfortable with anything that could help us get there. We're just trying to do our little part, because there's a lot of different companies, nonprofits, organizations in this world, in this area, in Texas and Arlington, that are doing wonderful things.
Yes.
And we know that, and we're just trying to follow suit and do our small piece, along with, if everybody else is doing their small piece, then it becomes like a big piece, right? And kids have a bright future, because I want to be, when I'm 80, I want these kids, they'll be the ones making this world go, making this country go.
And they'll remember you.
And they'll remember, right? And I want... Yeah.
And you've got 2 events coming up. We've got like a minute left.
Okay.
You've got 2 events coming up this month. When are they and where are they, real quick?
September 7th, we're going to be having Symphony Arlington out. The kids will be able to be exposed to classical music.
Okay.
That's at UTA Mavericks Activity Center. And September 14th, we're doing some type of art event around kids getting to do their own individual paintings of something. We haven't clearly defined it yet, and that will be at UTA Mavericks Activity Center as well. And all of that information is on our calendar registration page on our website and on our Facebook page.
Okay, because I went to your website today. And what's the website again?
Website is www.metrosportsfieldhouse.com.
And
Facebook at metrosportsfieldhouse.com.
So, hey, y'all hear this. He's right here in Arlington. Kids can come from, various locations in the Metroplex, Mansfield, Cedar Hill, Grand Prairie, Fort Worth,
100% free.
It's 100% free. I have been to I went to his health and wellness event. I'm going to tell you, they're awesome. Awesome.
And it is quality.
Awesome. And it's on a university campus.
Yes.
So, but, you've told us what you're looking at for the future, getting your own place. I am so, so proud of you. Tell Miss Robin and Miss Ruby I said, hey.
I will, Miss Mary. Thank you.
And to my listeners, I'm always looking for wonderful guests. So if you have anybody you want to see here on All About STEM Radio, please let me know. You can email me at allaboutstemradio@gmail.com or hit me up message me on Facebook at All About STEM Radio. So thank y'all, and next week I am going to have a outstanding bat scientist down from Fredericksburg is going to be on the show next week, so I'm totally excited. So thank y'all. Till next week. Bye-bye.
The wait is over. Now you can get your own awesome fishbowl shirts, sweaters,